Welcome back. What's popping? Back like we never left. One Piece chapter 943 is out, and today I want to try to have a conversation, just talk about the chapter without it feeling like a review, just a discussion, just talking about it, right? We're just going to go through the chapter and everything that happened and transpired and just try to, I'm just going to give you my thoughts, and that's pretty much it. So One Piece 943 chapter starts off, and we have pretty much everyone for Oden. They've come to rob Hakumai, right? And Yasu stops them. And the first thing I thought of was that Yasu, he's strong enough to basically corral all of these guys. And remember when we first heard about Kuri and everything that happened in Kuri with Oden and Ashura Doji, and that Oden had to overcome Ashura Doji, who was the strongest samurai in Kuri, and that was a lawless place, right? It turned into a lawless place, and Oden kind of fixed there, right? He went there and he liberated Kuri, and he made these guys his subordinates, and these guys were actually sent to steal treasure from Hakumai, and the person that corralled them was Yasu. So this tells me Yasu's pretty damn strong, because for Ashura Doji was the guy, Shitamaru was the guy over there. Oden managed to beat him, of course, but that means Yasu was stronger than Oden. I'm assuming, right, based on everything that's transpired, for him to be able to defeat Shutamaru, Denjiro, Kawamatsu. These are the strongest samurai in Wano, like strong samurai in Wano. Maybe they weren't the strongest back then, but they are very strong right now. Raizo, Okiku, all of these people, he was able to wrap them up. Inarashi, Nakamushi, all of these guys, he was able to wrap them up. But I like the route that Yasu went, where he was able to, he gave them the treasure. He said, oh, just give them treasure. And they said that Oden needed it. And Yasu, from what we saw last chapter, he was somewhat of Oden's mentor. And the fact that Oden was trying to do good things, he was for it. So he was giving him treasure to help Oden. And so he was Oden's benefactor, right? So I don't know if you guys remember back then with Big Mom, before we knew who Mother Carmel was, they said that Mother Carmel was Big Mom's benefactor, right? And that's the person that has contributed to your cause, who has a lot to do with your development, your growth. Yasu is that for Oden. We haven't heard much about Oden's dad, because we're still waiting to know, because he was the shogun. So we're waiting to see exactly everything that's going to come forth with Oden's dad. And of course, being that in that power, you don't have time for children, or just even your children, right? So we're going to see what transpires. But Yasu was kind of like that for Oden, and looking out for Oden. I thought it was cool by giving them the treasure and basically an investment into Oden's and the retainers' future. So everything that transpired with Yasu, he gave him a great speech as well, saying that Oden would be the shogun of the country eventually, and that these people, his retainers, have to be respectable people. He was telling them to even grow smarter, do better things, become the retainers that Oden can be proud of. And it's a touching moment, because it showed that Yasu at that point kind of bet on these people to protect Oden and be the guardians of Wano. He said to be the guardians of the entire country's guardians, right? So it was cool, because then everybody that was there, because everyone is being broadcasted everywhere, so everyone around Wano saw it. So they're pretty sad at the death of Yasu. People saying that Kanjuro should have known that who Yasu was, but when you look at his disposition and how he was back then in comparison to now, it's night and day. It's night and day as far as like who he was and who he is now. So I understand why he didn't even recognize who Yasu was. So at this point, Yasu is the guy that they owe a lot to. So them being sad and crying, not surprising at all. I think for me, just seeing the relationship that Yasu had with Oden and how much he was willing to sacrifice for Oden and give to Oden and his retainers is great, because that plays a part in their development. So I thought that was really well done. Okay, so the next act pretty much was giving some more information and background information on Smile. So I made a video on Smile recently, just giving my thoughts on what we learned, what we know about Smile so far, and trying to predict exactly what the side effects for the people of Ibisu Town was. And come to find out that, okay, so my theory was that it was in the water, because when Zoro saw the water, he was being somewhat skeptical. However, it was in the leftovers. Orochi found out about the leftovers, and they would say that was Orochi's most heinous crime. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. They're in the capital. Yasu's now dead, and they're telling the people of Ibisu Town to leave. They go into, like I said, they mentioned Orochi's most heinous crime, and they're talking about what Orochi did to the people of Ibisu Town. They had a perception of Smile. People knew what Smile was, but we didn't know the in-depth version of what Smile was. So Okiku, Luffy had some important dialogue here where Luffy even mentions that people don't have the right to laugh at people that when someone dies, right? Nobody should laugh when someone dies. And even looking at it, Queen was going crazy saying Orochi's ruthless. And honestly, the entire situation is kind of weird because it's characterizing Orochi and giving us more backstory and giving us more about him and telling us who he truly is. And based on what we know about Orochi, he's not a good person. From shooting someone you're negotiating with to trying to kill someone for disrespecting you, it's weird. But Orochi, everything that he did, he pretty much poisoned the people of Abisu Town, right? So with the leftovers, the people of Abisu Town, they were struggling and needed food. And what happened was they were getting leftovers to the town. So what happened was the leftovers they got contained eaten Smile that had been eaten one time. So quick backstory on Smile that they gave us. They pretty much said that Smile, they're artificial devil fruits, right? And if you eat Smile, it's a 10% chance, so 1 in 10, that you gain the powers of that fruit. So essentially, what would happen is if you eat the powers, if you ate the fruit and you got the power, you were a gifter. So they were waiters, people that were waiting to eat the fruit and gain power. Then you have pleasures. Those are the people that ate the fruit and they ate a defective fruit, or those were like 9 out of the 10 people they would get the side effect of the fruit. With that gave us some more background on Smile because I mentioned that in my Smile video that with the pleasures and everything they were doing when they were fighting on Zou, they were smiling the entire time even though they were being pummeled, right? So that gave us some backstory into them. And Kaido did not refer to the pleasures as like Smile users. He didn't refer to them as that. He said, oh, we have no more Smile, we can't make any more gifters. So that told me the people that gained the power of the Smile were actually gifters, but pleasures were weird as well. They had a weird thing to them. So those were the defective guys who ate the fruit that didn't give them powers, just gave them side effects. Eating the Smile devil fruit, the pleasures, they gain the ability to only smile. They lose the ability to be sad or be angry. The only thing they can do is smile regardless of what's going on. So and the thing is, they said that was to kind of to just basically make fun of them, to mock them. They named it Smile Devil Fruits, and I even insinuated that in the video. And of course, seeing Dofi, Kaido, and Caesar is interesting because they had a relationship. They showed SAD as well, so they were just giving us backstory into Smile Devil Fruits, letting us know how these fruits came about, how they work, and how they affected the people of Abisu Town. So they were eating the leftover Smile, and that led to the people of Abisu Town. They can't even grieve the fact that the person that they owed a lot to is dead. And so they were saying, Komusaki was saying not to blame these people because that right was stripped away from them. And so it was really sad, right? It was really sad because these people that wanted to grieve and wanted to show and pay homage to somebody they cared about, they can't. They were just laughing. And even the people in the capital was like, why are these people so weird? Just kick them out of Abisu Town. Like, why are they here? What I thought was truly interesting is the perspective of Wano and how people viewed Wano and how essentially people did not know everything there was to know about Smile. They just knew they were artificial devil fruits. They did not know about the side effects, right? They didn't know about that. And those were things that were revealed in this chapter. Also, the perception based on your perspective. Komusaki said, this is hell. This is pretty much what hell is. Not being able to grieve for someone even if they died. You only thing you can do is smile. And we, of course, from her perspective and everything that's happening to her and her people, that's how someone would feel. Transition to Orochi, he would say, yo, I allowed you to live in my beautiful country. One would mistake it for heaven. So Oda in this chapter was painting the perspective of heaven and hell, and it's just based on the perspective, based on what side you're on. And also, he made Kaido somewhat indifferent, where Kaido even said Orochi's doing things in bad taste, but he had a smile on his face. Where for Kaido, I don't think he cares as much because this does not impact him at all. Orochi doing all this, that's Orochi, right? My business still goes on. So it is whatever, but it was interesting how Oda tried to paint the perspectives of everyone, and he told Shikamaru, he let Shikamaru tell Kinemon and those guys the true nature of Smile and exactly the impact it had on the country. I thought it was amazing how he tied all the perspectives in. Again, this chapter was really good because it gave a lot of information about Smile and it told us stuff that we really wanted to know. And of course, the more we get about Devil Fruits and Smile, I think it's leading up to some Vegapunk stuff because they were already requesting Vegapunk. And I think Oda, of course, he reveals information slowly but surely. So the more we get from this, the more happy I feel or more like encouraged I am that we're going to get Vegapunk soon. Not in a full reveal, but maybe a silhouette and some more information about actual devil fruits. I'm waiting for that. The last act of this chapter, the last part of this chapter, of course, Yasu's dead, right? And Orochi's saying a lot of stuff, and the person that went to console Yasu is Toko, because Toko slipped through the fence and she's going to console her father. That's her father. And so at that point, Orochi then finds out, say, hey, that's the brat. You're the brat that made me kill or made Kumasaki die. So he focused himself on Toko to shoot Toko. That was the new objective, to kill Toko. And of course, with Toko doing that, it's expected because her father is dead and she's trying to console her father. And I was a bit weary at first because I was like, I really hope Yasu isn't alive, right? So he's still dead based on this chapter. But with that happening, he's about to shoot Toko. And of course, what happens? Zoro and Sanji jump in to stop these bullets. Now, a lot of people were hype. I was hype from the end of the chapter where we hadn't seen Zoro and Sanji in the same panel or interacting with each other in a long time. Matter of fact, it's been 220 chapters. I think One Piece 722. That was the last time we saw Zoro and Sanji interact, right? So it's been a long time, and Sanji, of course, kicked the bullets away. Zoro cut some bullets, and of course, they had their signature stare down at the end. A huge theory that was going around was that once they meet, it's going to be a huge thing because Oda has been avoiding this for a while. Think back, right, to when they literally went to Ibisu, and Zoro was just gone, and then they had Zoro ended up on the bridge with Gukimaru and Kamazo, and it was like moments where they should meet, they never met. They weren't meeting, so now they meet. I know that people were saying that the meetup for Zoro and Sanji, Oda was saving it because it was going to be a huge thing based on what happened in Whole Cake Island, and Zoro was going to pull up on Sanji and ask Sanji about what happened, why did you leave? I don't think that conversation happens here because they're in some deep shit, right? They're surrounded. There's a lot of people there. We saw X Drake and Hawkins there. We were talking about a possible matchup with X Drake and Hawkins. And who do you guys got? If X Drake and Hawkins were to go against Zoro and Sanji, I mean, I think it's a good fight, but I think X Drake is slightly stronger than, maybe stronger than Zoro or stronger than Zoro, and Sanji may be on Hawkins level. So it's a pretty good matchup. It's a really good matchup, in my opinion. So who do you guys got? I think it would be a good thing to see. I don't think we're going to see it because, again, Big Mom is almost at Udon, right? And we have to figure out exactly what's going on there. But they even mentioned that there's some pleasures in Udon, right? People that have eaten Smile that are in the prisons. So this chapter set up a lot of things because Sanji and Zoro, they're right there. Kinemon, Sutenmaru, they're all around the area, right? They're all seeing this happening. So we're going to see how this transpires and how this plays into the story. Personally, I think Oda can't show a lot of this stuff because he's saving it for the final battle or for, like, you know, some closer to the climax. I don't think we're there yet. Again, with Zoro and Sanji, amazing. I was really happy to see that. I was waiting for this meetup for a long time, so that was really good to see. Orochi's a messed up guy. Him doing what he did, basically you're poisoning these people. And of course, that's what made Sanji mad. Because Sanji, he didn't even want to poison Big Mom. Even after everything Big Mom had done with the Vince Smoke. Didn't want to poison her because of his beliefs as a chef. Zoro's relationship with Yasu and everything that happened to them and the people of Ibisu Town, that made him mad. So these people, they have personal gripes with them, and of course, that's what led to this. So amazing chapter, amazing chapter. Again, I love just how Oda broke it down and gave us some backstory into how Orochi basically poisoned the people of Ibisu. And even Kaido was like, man, you fucked up. You're a man of bad taste. And someone that would choose to poison people, right? Essentially take away the ability to grieve of people knowingly is sad. Something I mentioned was that why didn't Orochi know what Toko was? Because Toko was someone that was laughing a lot, even in the midst of Orochi. That should immediately point you back to the fact that this is someone from Ibisu Town probably, right? So again, great chapter. A ton of videos I can make from this, honestly. So expect more videos over the weekend. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you have not for more content like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.